Hi everybody, Ron Placone here. So this video is in reaction to some of the decisions universities are making to either show or not show the film American Sniper. Recently, the University of Maryland decided to not screen the film out of students expressing concerns that it was offensive to them, that it was Islamophobic and a bit racist and nationalistic and stuff like that. Now, I cannot say 100% for sure whether or not American Sniper is a propaganda film. Why? Because I have not seen it. And I cannot make that kind of a statement about a film that I have not seen. That's something I'm not willing to do. And the reason I haven't seen American Sniper, I pretty much refuse to. Eventually, I think I'm going to have to see it because I just got to see, okay, so what's going on here? But I refused to see it when all of the stuff was going on because I just found all of the hype so disgusting and ridiculous that I just wanted to be completely removed from it, and I wanted nothing to do with it whatsoever. First of all, it scares me immensely that we live in a world where it's quote-unquote patriotic to go see a Hollywood movie. Meanwhile, questioning war is considered taboo. It scares me that that's where our general populace is at, but that sure is where we are. On the other side, too, I was blown away by some of the reactions to it. I mean, Noam Chomsky was writing about this film and other intellectuals and stuff like that, and it scared me that this much weight was given to a Hollywood film by Clint Eastwood. It's Clint Eastwood. I mean, what do you guys expect? This is a guy that talked to a chair pretending it was Obama. I mean, I would have been shocked if, I mean, of course, how did you not expect a movie that's just excessively nationalistic and xenophobic and completely glorifying war and just bang, bang, America? I mean, how did you not expect that type of a Hollywood blockbuster? That's the movie that dude's going to make 100% of the time. I would have been shocked if it was like the other way around. Like if it would have been like, oh yeah, Clint Eastwood made a movie and it actually portrayed the horrors of war and it was actually really accurate to how terrible it was and it showed how bad PTSD is. Like, really? Clint Eastwood did that? Wow, I never would have expected that. So I was just blown away by all the attention that film was getting, and I just wanted nothing to do with it. I was like, I don't want to see this movie. I don't want to hear anything about it. I don't want to get to know this guy. I just want to be removed because I find the whole circus completely and utterly ridiculous. And in many ways, I still do. However, if it is in fact a propaganda film, or even if it's not a propaganda film, considering the reactions it's gotten from our populace, it should most certainly and without a doubt be shown at colleges and universities. And here's why I feel this way. See, there was a point in time where people took the movie Reefer Madness seriously. There was a point where people thought that was legit. And then over time, people started dissecting it a little more. They started looking at it a little critically. And they're like, wait a second. I think if you take a hit of pot, you're not going to beat up everybody you see. In fact, I think the opposite's true. And then all of a sudden, people realize, oh, this is pure fluff. This is total propaganda. You can't fight propaganda or combat propaganda simply by ignoring it or pretending it's not there and then letting those that are susceptible to it migrate to it. You combat propaganda by dissecting it, by learning from it, by questioning it, by discussing it, and confronting it head on. So the people that are offended by this movie, those are the people that should want to see it the most. Those are the people that should want to have the screening, want to have the discussion, want to have a campus-wide discussion in an institution of higher learning where issues like these should be discussed and should be discussed openly and respectfully. Now, if it was a situation where the screening was going to happen and it was like, go see this movie, America, and there was an Army recruiting station sitting outside wanting to sign a bunch of students up for the ROTC, then, okay, that's a little bit different. That's kind of an agenda. That's maybe, some people might have a different response to this film. Maybe that's not appropriate. But if it's a screening to say, okay, this is something that's really significant in our populace right now, we got to watch this movie. We got to talk about this movie. We're going to have an open discussion where, you know, if you feel that it's Islamophobic, let's talk about that. If you feel that it's overtly racist or nationalistic, we're going to have that discussion too. On the other side, if you think it's great and this guy's a hero, whatever else, we're going to hear that too. We're going to have a discussion in a higher education setting about what this film, why this film had the impact it had, why everybody from, you know, the lowest common denominator going, oh, I want to join them, you know, bang, 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 America, and to, like, you know, academics and everywhere in between, we're talking about this thing. I think those are important discussions that should happen at the university level. So, I mean, if I was a student on a college campus, or if I was on a college campus, which I often am, and somebody would put a paper in front of me and say, hey, will you sign this piece of paper so that American Sniper won't be shown in our university? I wouldn't sign it. I would say, you know what, I'm not going to sign this, but my reason for not signing this might not be what you expect. My reason for not signing this is because I think it should be shown, and I think you should be there, and I think I should be there because I want to hear what you have to say about it. I want to hear, you know, why you're not in favor of this being shown, and I want to have my reaction to it, and I want us to have a discussion. I think that's the only way that propaganda can be addressed, because what propaganda really does, we could have discussions all day about what propaganda is or isn't, and we never would completely reach total consensus, right? Because it's a broad idea. But what propaganda really does prohibits a conversation by pitting caricatures of the opposition. That's what propaganda really does. And underline that first part, prohibits a conversation. So what can you do to confront propaganda? Have a constructive conversation. Where do constructive conversations hopefully happen most of the time? A college campus. So really, if this is in fact a propaganda film, which maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Again, I have not seen it. When I do see it, which I'm still fighting, just because quite frankly, I think the whole thing's ridiculous and I want nothing to do with it. But when I do see it, I'll let my opinion be known. I'll say, yeah, I would say based on my definitions or whatever, this is a propaganda film, or I'll say I actually technically don't think this is a propaganda film. I think this is just a excessively nationalistic Hollywood film by Clint Eastwood, which, I mean, again, I don't know how anybody expects anything less from that dude. But either way, I gotta say, I hope that the University of Maryland does change their mind and shows it. And I hope that other universities do change their mind and show it as well. And I hope that the members of the student body that are opposed to it, I hope they go to the screening and discuss those points. Let those points be heard. Like, look, I feel that as a Muslim or as a pacifist or as somebody that suffers from PTSD, whatever the situation may be, put that front and center and have that discussion. Because again, that's the only way propaganda can be confronted, is through analysis, dissection, and constructive conversation. And you're just not going to get that if you just pretend that something's not there, or if you just don't let it be shown. So those are my 2 cents on that. I don't know, but this is Ron Placone signing out.